people, what's up? Another day, another creepy Brainrot Animator. Now audience, the subject of today's video is once again mushroom animation. Now listen, I made a couple videos on this person in the past. I made a video a couple days ago and I made a video many months ago. However, the problem is that I never actually took a deep dive into who this person actually is. Typically, when I make a video on somebody, I get tagged and then I react to it. But recently, I was notified by my girlfriend that this YouTuber, Mushroom Animation, is on some very freaky shit. And by that, I mean he draws children. Now, this isn't the first Brainrot Animator that drew children. Of course, we can't forget the two pioneers, Rocky Raccoon and Shappy Sway. But by the end of this video, I think that Mushroom Animation may be just as bad, if not worse. Let's begin. Yeah, we are starting off pretty fucking bad today. Now, audience, if any of you live under a rock and have absolutely no idea who this character is, this little Timmy is the Squid Game doll from the Squid Game Netflix show. And, even though the age is not explicitly said on Google of how old this person is, you can take a pretty quick glimpse at this doll and tell that it's not 18 years old. In fact, I would argue that it's below 10 years old. And also, this isn't the first person that has sexualized the Squid Game doll for YouTube views. The other YouTuber, Rocky Raccoon, is guilty of the same shit. And you know what's the funny thing, audience, is that these people that draw children in very sexually suggestive poses, they give the most diabolical cope of all time when they try to explain themselves. I mean, seriously, here was Rocky Raccoon trying to say that it was the Jacko pose and not twerking.
So did not that the girl was supposed to be a child? And because it's just a doll, it's not a real person, it's just a doll.
Yeah, okay, you lying ass motherfucker. And also, even more ironic, not only did Rocky Raccoon do the quote-unquote Jacko pose, Mushroom Animation also decided to make the same Squid Game doll do the quote-unquote Jacko pose. I don't know what's the big problem here, audience, but why is it so difficult for animation channels to not draw children? And they will go on about their day and cope that the canonical age of this doll is not explicitly said on Google, or that the Squid Game doll is not an actual child and that it's just a doll and not a child, even though the literal voice actor for the Squid Game doll is a little girl.
Green light! You finally found my voice. Green light. Red light. That's the real version.
And also, mind you, this voice actor is 10 years old. Is it really a coincidence that they grabbed a 10-year-old girl to voice the Squid Game doll? It looks like a child, it sounds like a child, and the voice actor is a child. But the canonical age of this doll is not explicitly said on Google.com. So you know what these animators think, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go ahead and make softcore of it. That's a great fucking idea. By the way, YouTube, I'm joking. Do not make underage porn. Anyways, you know how I said that these Brainrot Animators would cope that the canonical age is not on Google? Well, I wonder what they're gonna say whenever they have a character that is drawn that is not 18 plus and the canonical age is under 18. Check this shit out.
Sonic is mine.
Yeah, we are getting into even worse territory than before. Sonic, if you do not know, ladies and gentlemen, is 15 to 16 years old. In fact, that is the only actual confirmed age of Sonic. And also, not only is the content itself very sexually suggestive, but the thumbnails themselves are not doing this YouTuber any justice. This stuff, audience, these animations do in fact take time. I would know because I commission an artist that makes animations for my entire YouTube channel. channel. The shit that we do for this YouTube channel, audience, it takes time. So when it comes to these animators making underage sexually suggestive content, this stuff isn't just something that you can think of in 5 seconds and create. You really do have to think for quite a few hours at least to be animating this shit. And I don't know about you, but it's pretty fucking sick that there is somebody out there that is constantly thinking for hours on end about drawing children in very sexually suggestive ways to put it on YouTube for other little kids to see. Speaking of which, I have gotta show you the YouTuber's bio of this YouTube channel. Welcome to Mushroom Animation. This channel is not for kids 13 plus, which honestly is pretty ironic because 13 to 17 is still a kid. And also, you draw 10-year-old girls in sexually suggestive ways. So what, you draw 10-year-olds sexually suggestive, but 10-year-olds can't even watch your videos? I think that's a problem, you fucking weirdo. Anyways, the next child that this YouTuber decided to sexualize. By the way, I can't believe that's a real fucking sentence I'm saying on my YouTube channel. Wednesday Addams, ladies and gentlemen. This video has flew under the radar for over 2 years and nobody has noticed. But today, that is going to end. Take a look at the thumbnail. I mean, do I really have to say anything? There is no reason that you need to give Wednesday Addams, a 16-year-old girl, these type of body proportions for the YouTube thumbnail. And you can go ahead and say that the body proportions are not supposed to mean that, even though we have all the context clues across the whole fucking YouTube channel that is the exact point that you're trying to get across. You were trying to draw Wednesday Addams, a 16-year-old girl, in a sexually suggestive way. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, the content within this thumbnail is even worse.
Mysterious and spooky, they're all together rookie, the Addams family.
Now listen, I'm gonna try and professionally explain this video as best as humanly possible. As somebody that knows how to animate a drawing from a still image, Mushroom Animation in this video has tried to do something called a puppet tool, where basically you're able to move certain body parts from a drawing of a character. And as for this case, Mushroom Animations decided to puppet tool Wednesday Addams' breasts to bounce up and down as she is doing this dance. Now, if this was a normal animation, you wouldn't have to do this at all, let alone the body proportions are completely unnecessary. But this motherfucker decided to animate the dance so that her breasts also bounce up and down. 16-year-old girl, by the way. And finally, just an honorable mention. Mushroom Animations made an OC Sprunky character, which if any of you know the Sprunky lore in the Sprunky characters, this character on screen looks exactly like Sky. And for those who may not know, Sky is the youngest Sprunky that is 14 years old. So kinda weird that you're basing your OC characters from Sprunky off a 14-year-old. And also, you make this OC Sprunky character do this in the video. Yeah, fucking nasty. I guess you really do just have a problem with drawing children. Anyways, audience, what do you think? Subscribe to the channel if you would like a part 2 about this guy. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys later.